Hi guys, it's Nancy, and today we're going to talk about Spellbinders Glimmer of the Month kit for July 2021. In this kit, you are going to get 7 hot foil dies in this rectangular shaped polka dotted border, and you're going to get the rose gold glimmer foil hot foil. Okay, so as you can see, it is this beautiful peach kind of color, but it is a nice rose gold. Beautiful. And so this is wonderful because if you, again, are new to hot foiling, you have the Glimmer hot foil system, and you want to build up your stash. We all know that these dies are not inexpensive. The foil is not inexpensive once you start adding to your collection, right? So this is a nice way to get a roll of foil every month and new hot foil dies every month. And these are rectangular in shape, and as I said, you're going to get 7 of them. So the largest one measures 6 inches by 3 inches. So 6 by 3, and then each one goes a little smaller until you have the last one. So I was playing around with some foiling when I first got it, and here you can see I did 6 of the 7. I didn't squeeze the smallest one in there, and I did all of these at the same time. What I did was put them all down like you see here on the Glimmer machine, put the foil on, and then foiled it. And so there you can see that's what it looks like when it actually hot foils. Then I tried an experiment where I actually flipped one over. So I used the front side of one like this, and then I took the next size up and I flipped it over. And as you can see, even though I didn't get the best results, you could foil that. I probably should have heated it longer or added a shim. You could actually use these as a solid foil as well. The only one you would not be able to do that with is the smallest one, because the smallest one is engraved with the Spellbinders information. So Glimmer of the Month, July 2021. But you could do that. And then just for fun, I took a lot of them and did different colors of foil and made this really cool, almost like a Pac-Man background, right? And I took all the different colors of the Spellbinders foil and just had a good time with it. So you're only limited by your imagination on how to use this set. So today I wanted to make a card, and I'm only going to use the largest one. And what we're going to do is I have my Glimmer system heating up over here. And with the Glimmer system, I've taken a piece of heat safe tape. I think it's Cricut heat safe tape. And I have taped the 2 plates together. So I've taped my clear plate and my foiling plate together. My platform's on, it's ready to go. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to actually foil my sentiment. So I do have the Spellbinders Thanks hot foil sentiment here. And I'm going to lie that right in the middle. And I'm kind of going to pay attention to where it lines up using the grid marks. And I think a lot of times we don't take advantage of those grid marks, and they can come in pretty handy. Okay. And then I have some 3.5-inch sheet strips, you know, kind of like a mini slimline that I'm going to be hot foiling on. All right. And I do have some foil cut here, and you always want to do the pretty side down. So hot foil has an adhesive. So this silver part has a glue adhesive built in. I'm actually going to cut this foil down. And once it heats up, that foil is going to stick to whatever you want it to stick to pretty much. It doesn't have to be paper. You can hot foil some fabric, leather, cork, things like that. All right, so you kind of want to cut that down to match. And I'm going to line this up. Again, just trying to pay attention to the lines on my grid lines on my sheet there. Put that down, and it says my platform is ready. Now I always, when the first time I use it, when the first time I put the hot foil down, the hot foil stamp needs to get really hot, but you're going to press this timer button. It's going to blink for about a minute, and then we're going to run it through the die cutting machine. So while that's blinking, I'm going to move that over to the side. And I'm going to bring in my Spellbinders or FSJ Platinum machine here. I found that this system works the best Doesn't mean there aren't any other systems that will work. I did have an old Big Kick and it didn't work the best for me. And as soon as I switched over to this Spellbinders Platinum machine, I get a lot better results when it comes to my foiling. And the paper that I'm using that I have really good luck with, you guys, is the Hammermill 100-pound color copy paper. I will link that down below for you guys as well. I just do really well with foiling on that paper. Let me raise my camera up so you guys can see a little better here. Okay, so we're just waiting for the timer to stop blinking. Now, of course, you can foil both at the same time, but I want to show you one at a time first and why I choose to do it that way. So, sorry about that. And I like to run it through very slowly, probably about 3 or 4 times to make sure that I have coverage on everything that I'm trying to foil. And one more time. All right. All right, and then we want to let that cool a second. And we have pretty good foiling. Now, in the center of the K there, we have a little bit of overfoiling. I'm going to show you guys how to get that off in a second, okay? Now, at this point, if you wanted to foil your border in a different color, you could. So again, this is the largest one, and we can do that. Or you can foil it at the same time if you want to do the same color. And all you do is just put both of those down on your platform. And again, use the guidelines that you have so that we know where to put our cardstock. Okay, so if I put my cardstock right on that line there, we should be pretty centered. So we're going to put our platform back on the Spellbinders Glimmer machine and let that warm up until it is ready to go. Okay, so that'll take just a second, and I'm going to cut just a sliver off my foil here so it's not too big. You have too much foil, sometimes those corners go down and touch the paper, and then we get over foiling the corners. And save these because these are great for the small Spellbinders sentiments. You can always reuse them. So while we're waiting for the machine to heat back up, here we have overfoiling. Just take a little mono eraser, and right in the center there, you can pull that right out. Okay, and then if you were going to line up the outside die, if you weren't sure, I would recommend the hinge method to make sure it's straight because you're not doing them at the same time. But look at how beautifully that foiled. Okay, so now we want to use our cool fancy borders as part of the kit of the month. All right. And you'll know your machine is ready because the green line will go to platform ready, which it just did for me. So now I'm going to add my piece of brand new rose gold foil. Now I'm going to add my little piece of 3.5-inch wide paper. And again, I have this line that I'm using as my guideline on how to line it up pretty straight. Gonna let that go and hit the timer button, and it's gonna count down. It does take about a minute to count down, and then we will ready our die cutting machine. So I'm not gonna make you guys sit and wait for that minute. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll roll it through and we'll come back for the reveal. Okay guys, we are rolling our border and our sentiment through. So again, with the Glimmer July 2021 kit, you get a roll of that rose gold foil and you get 7 of that polka dotted rectangle border hot foil stamp. And it doesn't die cut, it's just for hot foiling. Okay, Okay. Let's see how this looks. I always like to let it cool so that the foil has full time to adhere. All right, that looks pretty good. Now here, you can see the die shifted. It either shifted when I was pulling it off the platform into the machine, or it shifted when it was in the machine. I'm not worried about the overfoiling here because I'm going to cut that down anyway. But for the most part, I am pretty happy with the way that that looks. So now we're going to cut this down, and I have some pre-made slimline cards, and we will make a really quick mini slimline card. And I have some rose gold foil card. So let's cut this down first so we know what size to make our card. I already know it's 3.5 inches wide. We need to know what we want our length to be. And it's a little crooked. You could cut it, make it straight if you wanted to, if that bothered you. What you can do is line up your foiled edge with the guide in your cutter. So if I line that up, and this is now my straight edge, so I can line this up along the bottom of my trimmer and cut from the shortest edge down and keep going around, and then no one will ever know that I foiled this crooked. And again, going to turn it to the straight edge, cut that down, and one more cut, and we should be good to go here. Okay, so I'm going to want my slimline card just to be slightly larger than this. Get my bigger trimmer out here. So these are pre-made slimline cards that I purchased. So I'm going to make it slightly larger than my sentiment, but I'm going to mat it with some foil card. So we'll see what that looks like here. Because I know mini slimlines are a thing. I don't know what their exact measurements are, you guys. Okay, so let's go to 7 inches. So the card is slightly larger. So our base is, looks like 6.5 by 3.5. I thought I cut a little bit off of there. 3.25. Yeah, 6.5 by 3.25. So I'm going to make this piece of rose cardstock a little bit larger than that. So we're going to go 3.5. Look at that. Just happens to match and was in my stash. Aren't I lucky? Perfect color rose gold Spellbinders. Good job. And then we want this to be 6.5. Nope. 6 3/4. Yep. Maybe a little smaller than that. Yeah, maybe a little smaller. Going to trim a little sliver off there just to make it a little smaller. Okay, so now we're just going to put it on our card, and we've made a really cool slimline hot foiled card. We're just going to glue everything together. I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom of the card there. Oh, I should have ran that through an embossing folder. Oh, I didn't think of that. Next time, run that through an embossing folder, and then it'll look even better. And again, just going to trim a little sliver off of my card here. Okay, and we have a mini slimline thanks card using the Spellbinders Glimmer hot foil kit of the month for July 2021 with this cool polka dotted background. I also brought in the thanks hot foil stamp, but you can see how beautifully that came out. And again, think of all of the possibilities you can use these borders for. Think of all the different colors of hot foil, and don't forget you can flip that over and use the flat side if you wanted to, and look at all of that fun. And the foil is the rose gold foil. If you have any questions, post them down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on foiling. Bye-bye. There we go. No more boo-boos. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching.